We have a quorum. We'll call the meeting in order. Anyone, invocation? We'll move on to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No changes, Amy? Then we'll move on to approving the minutes of February 21st and first the 21st.
I move to approve the minutes of February 21st and February 26th meetings.
Mark made the motion.
I'll second.
Keaton, second. For any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, and that's for 21st and the 26th. Okay. Financial matters, appropriation ordinance number 4.
I'll move that we approve appropriation ordinance number 4.
Mark has made a motion to approve ordinance number 4. Do I have a second?
Second.
Christie has seconded it. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Moving on to the recognition. Presentation of a plaque.
Well, good afternoon. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Larry Eubanks. I'm here as representative for the employer support of the Garden Reserve. And we have Staff Sergeant Vickers here, Officer Vickers, which you guys, Sergeant, I just thought it was him, Sergeant First Class.
Yeah, let's get that right.
I'm proud of the rank.
Rightly, you should be. Without Bruce being an upstanding employer, which you guys are all parts of, but he's also his chain of command. And I just want to read what Sergeant First Class Vickers has put Chief Johnson in for. He's worked. Officer Vickers worked with the Concordia Police Department for over 3 years. And my supervisor has always been supportive of the military, of his military duties, and considers it an opportunity to support the military and the country. Recently, he received last-minute opportunity to attend a 2-month school for his MOS, and his employer supported him and arranged his work schedule around to attend school. This was done with just 3 days of notice before he had to report to school. So that's outstanding that you guys allowed that to happen. So I'd just like to give Chief Johnson this plaque, and if I could we can get a picture so I can prove that I've done this tonight. All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
Next, public comments.
Nope.
What?
Fight for air climb.
Fire department.
Ah. I can't forget the fire department.
The guys decided they wanted to do, and this is the second year you've done it? Yep. Stair climb, so I was just gonna let them go about it. It's their show. I'm too fat and old to do what they do.
I agree with that, he is. So it's a Fight for Air Climb, what it is. We're just raising money for the American Lung Association. We raised 600 some last year, about I think 956 this year. So it was a big chunk more. Last year we went kind of as an experience, and this year we went to winning as a team. And individually we placed first, fourth, fifth, 13th, and 14th out of 19 guys. Or sorry, 14th and 19th out of 19 guys. So we did pretty well. trying to think. Just thanks for the support, letting us go. It was a great opportunity. We had a lot of fun doing it.
902 steps. and
Yep, 902 steps, 39 stories.
Full bumper gear. Thank you for letting us do
Yep.
this. Appreciate it.
Well, I tell you what, thank you for representing the city. You guys are,
It was a lot of fun. It was
you
terrible.
guys did a good
Yeah,
job.
it hurt really bad.
It didn't look like much fun.
The city
Yeah,
proud.
there's a video on the city of Concordia if you guys want to watch it.
Oh, neat, okay.
So, there's a
And
lot
next year, get the chief in shape so he can lead you.
No, he's got a follow.
I would like to point out that Levi was the first place guy, and he did beat Kansas City, Olathe, all the big time.
All right.
Wow,
That's
that's
great.
amazing.
So it was
Great
good to
job.
see that. And you'll see it in the video if you do watch it. He's just.
The key factor is Levi started last and passed them all.
Wow.
Wow. So where will we find the video again?
It's on the YouTube for the city.
On YouTube for the city. Okay.
Fight for Eric.
All right.
All right.
There's no cuss words. There's a couple burps on the 26th floor. Yes.
A lot of heavy breathing.
Well, thank you for representing us.
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to public comments. No public comments. We move on to appointments. 12th District Community Corrections Juvenile.
Yes, I am going to fill in for Wanda Backstrom, who was with Community Corrections. She was unable to make it tonight. I'm familiar with the board and what they do, so I told her I would stand in for her. She gave me a little rundown here. Excuse me for just a second, I left my iPad at home. So basically, the 12th Judicial District encompasses 6 counties. Washington, Republic, Jewel, Cloud, Mitchell, and Lincoln. State statute states that 3 members of an advisory board shall be appointed by cities located within the county or the group of cooperating counties. The governing body of each of the 3 cities have the largest population shall appoint 1 member. We are obviously one of those larger populations. Members shall be representatives of one or more of the following: public or private social service agencies, ex-offender agencies, healthcare profession, general public. Chuck Lamberts has been approached by this. Mr. Lamberts can't be here tonight either, so I think it'd be fun if we appointed him without him being here. He's fully aware of it, but Mr. Lambert's experience with his current profession and his seat on the city commission, they have respectfully requested that he be, they've placed it on the agenda, that he be, that you guys make a motion and would appoint him to the community advisory board when it comes to this. If you guys want any information about it, basically the money that comes out of this, it's intensive services for juvenile and adult offenders. So they have to have an advisory board. It's state money that comes out of the state general fund through the Department of Corrections. It's downloaded, essentially. The money is then downloaded to the counties. Cloud's the administrative county for the judicial district. And they provide services for all 6 of those counties within the judicial district, as I previously stated. So I would ask that the commission, or the committee, would appoint Chuck Lamberts to the 12th Judicial District Community Corrections Juvenile Services Advisory Board. Thank you. Unless anybody had a question.
Do I have a motion?
I move to appoint Chuck Lamberts to the 12th Judicial District Advisory Board.
I'll second.
I have a motion, second by Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. New business, mill and overlay bids.
Good evening. I'm representing Don tonight because he's off with his family. On March 1st, we had a bid letting for the Campus Drive, State Street Mill and Overlay project. There were 2 contractors present for the bid letting. Hall Brothers out of Marysville and this APAC Kansas Incorporated, their asphalt division. We're here. You can see in the document that you got the base bid received from Hall Brothers was $127,126.30 from APAC, it was $138,713.55, and then with the alternates added, which is the painting of the lines and the crosswalks. You could see there when you put those together that Hall Brothers was a little bidder for both alternate and the base bid. Our recommendation that we accept Hall Brothers' bid and move forward to contract with them to get the work started. They're proposing, and they could not start until after school was out in May. That was the concession that the college asked us to abide by. So they're proposing to start after May 21st, and they have to be done by a date in August, first part of August. So August 1st. Okay. So we're anticipating that there shouldn't be any problems with that, but until we get in there with equipment on the road that weighs the weight at which they're going to be using, we don't know that. So that's why this project also in it has a cost factor for what we call patching. If we get in there and they mill 2 inches off and the road falls all apart, then we go in and dig it out and patch it before we overlay it with a new material. So now this project is anticipated to be unique at the beginning because we're leaving the concrete in front of the college, and that means they can't travel the whole street with their equipment. So they have to go around to do one end and then come from another direction to the other end because we can't allow the asphalt trucks with fresh asphalt on their wheels across the concrete and the brick, or we just, well, tear it all out and start over again because it'll be an absolute mess. So we don't want the milling train on top of it. So they'll do one end and then they'll have to come around and do the other end from a different route. So, and we have specified in this, they have to travel out 81 Highway to the county road, Plum Road, and come across to come back in to do the west end of it, and then the other end they can come up, I think 17th Street and come across our new 18th Street and get onto State Street there. What we're trying to do is prevent any other streets being damaged by that. We've talked to the county and they've agreed that that's okay as long as we repair any road tore up as part of the project, and that's a bid item as well, maintenance of Hall Road. So, any
Is
questions?
that, in the timeline, they're saying, what, May 27th to August 1st?
Yes.
Is August 1st, is there
It's-
leeway in there,
No, they have to be done by August 1st,
or what happens?
or they're under penalty.
And what is the penalty?
I don't have the specific. $150.
Okay. Okay.
They got once they started, they got 25 working days.
And if everything goes well, they should do it in 2 weeks. But we don't know that because of the uniqueness of the project, having to come from both ends, staging. We know that approximately where the concrete is now is in that area because that street fell apart.
Now, how is it stated that if, in case they go to take the 2-inch off, we do have a collapse and we have to go in and do more work? Is there an extension added on to their end?
No.
Or is it?
And I'm sure
It's
that'll be the
included
first
within
thing
that
they'll
date.
ask for.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if it's a blowout of 20 or 30 feet, 15 feet long, that shouldn't be a problem. They'll dig out and repair it and move on.
Okay.
There's enough time in there for it. We get in there and we find we've got 150 feet all the way across, then it's a whole nother ballgame. We do know that College Drive, basically starting approximately at 21st Street, from there all the way through to the end was laid as 6 inches of asphalt in the 60s. We know that State Street from there, from 18th to 21st Street, was basically a rock road that got asphalt laid on top of it. So we don't know the exact thickness of that. It was very similar to the way 18th Street was. Those were all done at the same time in the 50s. They built concrete curb and gutter, did a rock base, and then put oil on top of it. So.
So the process for change orders is that who do they come to?
They have to request in writing to us that we bring to you.
Okay.
They've all been told that unless there is something totally unusual, you know, we're anticipating small patches may have to be done. We're just anticipating that. When you do asphalt streets, that's a possibility. But if there's a major change, then we're looking at something different. And maybe we do a certain section of it and we wait to another time to do the other section.
Do they throw in any anticipation for patching in their bid, or is that
No,
just
we
strictly?
have it as a bid item.
Okay.
They had to bid 1 ton, I believe it was, for patching, so that gives us a price for patching no matter what
Okay.
it takes.
And since the amount of time that it's expected to take is very short, a couple of weeks, and our commission meets every other week, do you think it would be prudent to ask the commission tonight to also approve a certain amount of owner's contingency, so if you end up with a patch, we can administratively ask them to go forward with that and not delay the project further, waiting for a commission meeting to approve?
Well, with the bid item in there at a certain, at a dollar amount, what we would need to just establish is how many tons do we want to allow them to do before we make a major change order.
Right,
I think
that's,
it's $62 a ton, so $5,000, that's quite a ways.
So,
You can do a lot of patching there.
Yeah.
is that something the commission would consider, because the short duration of the project is when we ask you to approve the bid tonight, but also approve a $5,000 contingency that Ron and Ken can determine if that's sufficient, and anything beyond $5,000, they would have to come and ask the commission's approval for.
I think
And that would be-
that'd be prudent. That way they don't have to slow things down for that
I
little
agree.
bit.
Absolutely.
And if we get something, they're gonna patch it, but they're gonna move on around it and continue
Yeah.
with their milling regardless. And that's when it's gonna show up, was when we mill.
Yeah.
So,
I think that'd be fine, and if everybody's in agreement with that. Yeah.
that'd be great.
So we need you guys to approve that.
Do I have a motion then?
I move to accept the bid from Hall Brothers for $127,126.30 with an alternate number 1 bid of $7,503.30 for a total of $134,629.60 plus $5,000 contingency.
Could I also have you include, approve the city manager to sign the agreement once it comes back?
Yes,
For-
that's fine.
We'll
So do you
send
need
it-
me to
we'll
amend
send
my
the
motion?
agreement to them, they'll sign it, it'll come here.
and then she can sign it.
So I'll amend my motion to include approval for the city manager to sign the contract
Yep.
when it comes back.
I have a motion by Christie. Do I have a second?
A second.
A second by Keaton. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pool baby slide.
Commissioners, if you'll recall, back in January, we purchased a fish slide for the baby pool at a very reasonable cost, $577.50. We went and picked it up, brought it back. We knew at that time that it was going to need a little bit of repair. We've spent some time doing some research on repairing. Fortunately, Taylor Knox, working at Chados, has been doing a lot of research on our behalf as well, and looking to find the best options for us to be able to repair the slide. Our goal is to get it repaired back to a like-new condition. We want our patrons to feel very good about us finding a best value option, but we don't want them to feel like they're getting a used-up slide. We want them to feel like they're getting a best value option. So tonight, we're asking you to approve the quote from Chados Auto Body in the amount of $5,819.94 to patch and repaint the slide to get it back to its like-new condition. That will bring the total project cost for the slide up to approximately $6,500, which is still about a third of the cost had we purchased the slide brand new.
I move to approve the estimate for the baby pool slide repairs for $5,819.94 from Chados Auto Body.
I have a motion by Christie. Do I have a second?
A second.
A second by Keaton. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Managers report.
Got 3 short items for you. If you look at the end of the packet, again, we have an informational item regarding sales tax and use tax. The first slide of city sales tax distribution with the purple headings down at the bottom, just done a quick calculation for you for the total January and February for 2018 compared to 2017 for sales tax. We're up 3.07%, so we're very pleased with that. Additionally, if you'll go to the last page of that document that is just the black and white, that's the use tax. So that is the online sales or the purchase of items from out of state brought back into the state for resale. And that January-February comparison from 2018 to 2017, again, is up 8.63%. So things are going very well on that front so far to start the year, and we hope it continues through the rest of the year. Are there any questions on this so far? All right, the next item, the auditors were scheduled to be here today and tomorrow. However, they did have some illness among some of their team members, and so the auditors will now be here at the beginning of April instead, so we'll be delayed about a month. And finally, we got notice an hour ago that we did receive a $10,000 grant award from the Dane G. Hansen Foundation, administered through the Community Foundation for Cloud County for the community cleanup efforts.
Okay.
We had applied for this grant last week, and we had applied in the amount of slightly over $10,000. They awarded us the maximum that they could of $10,000. It will go toward replacement of all the downtown trash cans with a black steel trash can and a very attractive design. It will look uniform and should last for a good number of years, just as the other ones have, but they are in need of replacement at this time. It will also go for about $2,000 in tire recycling fees. As part of the community cleanup, we go around and we pick up items on people's curbsides, and that does include tire recycling. We take those then to Champlin's Tire here in town, and they do recycle them for us. Last year when we did this, we incurred about $2,000 worth of fees from Champlin that the city paid for to help dispose of people's tires around town. We did notice that one of the things people have been asking for is from the neighborhood listening tours is to make that cleanup event an annual event, which we do intend to do, and this grant is going to help us to be able to do that. The Sisters of St. Joseph are already advertising for volunteers on Saturday, April 7th, and we will ask that people have items out by their curbs by Sunday, April 8th, if they can at all possible. Then throughout the week of April 9th, our city crews will be going around picking up those items at curbside. We ask that folks have those items sorted out by category. There are 5 specific categories that folks can put out: tires, furniture, tree limbs, old appliances, but we're not, there'll be some flyers out that'll kind of note what those items are. But we are asking for people's help to go ahead and sort those curbside, and we'll pick those up and haul that off for them free of charge. So we won't expect people to hopefully participate. We are scheduling it intentionally the week after Easter this year, so that's when it'll happen. That concludes my report. Does anyone have any questions?
I'd just like to add that, go on the record that the people are coming to the listening sessions. We are listening to them, because what Amy just described was thoughts and ideas that people gave to us. And so we do take them very seriously. And we are acting on a lot of these things that they're bringing to us, and looking and working on others. So I just want them to know they're not wasting their time, and they're really helping us move forward with the city.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and Commissioners report. Mark?
I had brought it up to a couple people before the meeting, but I understand it's a monumental task to get the railroads to fix their crossings. But I think somebody needs to contact them, at least put them on notice, because it's really a mess on Washington State and Cedar Streets. Cedar's really bad, and even our street that goes down to the orphan train, there's some bad stuff there as well too. So, and also there's some other places in town railroad tracks are bad, but I think close to downtown, it does need attention. And I think it also sends the message that I didn't grow up on the north side of the tracks. I grew up between the tracks when I was a kid, and used to pound those tracks every day. And there's always this thing of, the people across the tracks. Well, I think it sends a message that we're all one community here, and we don't have railroad tracks dividing us. And I think that we need to have someone contact them and see if we can't get something done. I understand it'll take a while, but we might as well get it in there.
What crossings did you say was again?
Well, on Cedar Street, Washington Street, State Street, primarily.
And they're just, the maintenance is not.
Yeah, and it, some of them are dangerous.
Sure. Okay. There's kind of odd laws as to who maintains what. I'll look back into that. I don't remember. I do believe we maintain up to a certain part, and then the railroad is responsible essentially for their right of way.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
do we know what railroads that would be?
Well, there'd be Kyle and
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's any obsolete tracks that,
I'll just Google railroads. Somebody will fix this.
yeah.
Okay. I'll look into that and at least put, the very first thing we'll do is we put them on the subject by sending them a letter.
Okay. Thank you.
Christie?
The only thing I had, I've already addressed, so.
I'd just like to thank the folks that did come out to the last 2 meetings and for their input. It'll help us out understand what their needs and wants are as well as what we need to be accomplishing. So it's all working out really well, and we look forward to the rest of the meetings.
And I'd just like to publicly thank NCK and Toby for attending these meetings and then actually reporting in detail what's been taking place, because, I mean, I think that's great. Shows the public that we are taking things seriously, and that the fact that they are out in the public, and that's what we promised, and that's what we're gonna keep on doing, so thank you. All righty, staff comments.
I'll comment on 6th Street, since you all have been through 6th Street and see the mess, right? Okay, we've started officially Monday. We have 40 feet of pipe, new pipe in the ground. We have all the trenched pavement removed. They removed the rest of the sidewalk pavement in the first block for preparation for next week. The borers will be in and boring across the street and under the island and across State Street, those types of things. With the 2 months of time we had to order materials after you signed the contract to move forward, we're still missing parts. So we're working as fast as we can work with the parts we have. We have all the pipe, but we don't have all the saddles for the service lines. So we'll lay pipe and backfill and leave holes open in the street until we can get the saddles in and get them put in place and that type of thing. But I don't know what the situation is. They were promised, I even got a copy of the invoice where they ordered the parts and were promised the saddles to come in, and when all the stuff came, they weren't included. So, but we've approved a second type of saddle from 2 different vendors now, so that they can go to another vendor if they need to get one, and it sounds like what's going to happen. The company we used has been overwhelmed with orders and didn't have enough to supply everybody, so we'll go to another vendor and get another one equal and move on. So,
But they're gonna be able to keep moving on everything
yeah.
else.
yeah.
So it's maybe not gonna delay the project.
Oh, it won't delay the project.
Okay.
We'll just keep laying pipe. We'll just
Okay.
have to leave holes open and
Okay.
that type of thing, so, yeah. And yesterday, as you all know, because of the wind, we had decoration in the tree in front of Century 21, first thing in the morning, which was about 65 feet of ribbon from the cones decorating the tree. We removed that, hopefully before somebody from the Blade took pictures, so that we don't have that, but that is the hazard of putting ribbon up, to make people aware, is it stretches in the wind and pretty soon it comes loose. So we're looking at other alternatives for that. So thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other staff comments? Being none, need a motion to move to executive. I move that the commission recess in an executive session for preliminary discussion and acquisition of real estate, exception KSA 75-43-19, with anyone, with Amy in it?
The commissioners, Justin and myself.
Okay. Commissioners Justin and Amy in attendance, and reconvene at the chamber at, what, 15 minutes, 6:15? Do I have a motion?
I thought you just made it. I second it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I haven't made a motion in a long time. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No action was taken. There will be a study session after the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn if there's no further business?
A motion to adjourn.
I have a motion by Keene. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mark. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. We are done. Study session can begin.